Welcome back. So this is a really big moment. Let's go ahead and jump into the Republic. It's time to change governments, which the switching of governments is often the beginning of a new chapter for your nation. So in order to start the transition, because it's not instantaneous, and it also comes with its own perils, you come up here to civilization, down to government, and come over to whichever government you want, but right now we're going for the Republic. Click, you say you want a revolution, and we say yes. Yes, we do. Now before I click yes, look over here to the left, and you can see the symbol for despotism. If you hover over it, says shows your current government, despotism. And say yes. And there we go. You'll now see that it says in our messages, the Antarcticans have incited a revolt. 2 turns of anarchy will ensue. Target government is Republic. Woot woot! And when we look back over here, we see that the symbol has changed, and it shows that we are now in anarchy. So you are going to spend 2 turns in the shittiest government that exists. Whenever you switch nations, or whenever you switch governments, you go through a period of 1 to 5 turns of anarchy, and it is completely random. The game just rolls the dice, and you get 1 to 5 turns. In anarchy, to learn all of the intricate details of governments, you can go to help, come down to government. Like always, click the triangle and click anarchy, and it will go over all of the ins and outs. The big things to know about anarchy. Your tax rate is automatically, even though it will not be reflected when you look over here. When you look over here to your tax rate, it'll still seem as though you're at 60% science and 40% tax or 40% gold. However, anarchy automatically makes it to where 100% of your trade goes to happiness. You will not be producing science, and you will not be producing any gold. So that is the problem with anarchy. Also, there is always the threat of civil war in this game. You have 10 or more cities, and your capital, where your palace is, typically the very first city you've built, unless you build a palace somewhere else and move your capital. If your capital gets taken, there is a certain probability that your civilization will be thrown into civil war, and half of your cities will be given to a newly created AI nation. It is devastating. Each form of government has its own chance of civil war. Despotism has an 80% chance of civil war. And anarchy has a 90% chance of civil war. So if you can snatch somebody's capital, or if your capital gets snatched while you're in anarchy, it's pretty much over. Half of your nation is gone, and it is near impossible to recover from it. But if we look at the Republic, the chance of civil war is 40%. You have a very good chance of surviving having your capital stolen. It's risky, you never want it to happen, but you can survive it. So that's anarchy. And in 2 turns, we will be past anarchy, and we will be in the Republic. One of the biggest positive impacts of the Republic is the fact that it has an effect on the tiles around your cities. So if we look at that fish here, if we hold down Alt and then left click and hold, we will see that the thing that we spoke about in a previous video, that in despotism and anarchy, Any tile that gives three or more um, food production or trade automatically gets hit with a -1 penalty. So we can see here that food is should be giving 3 food, but since it's now above 2, since it's 3, it gets hit with a -1, it goes back down to 2. Well, the Republic does not have that problem. There is no -1 on anything. So immediately, all of your tiles that have -1 because they are awesome tiles giving you a lot of something that have 3 or more, you can reap the full benefits of them. On top of that, any tile that gives at least 1 trade automatically gets a +1 trade bonus. This oftentimes has the effect of doubling the trade that your empire brings in. This is huge. Other impact that the Republic has on trade, the fact that, as we know, corruption, the effect of a loss of trade, for example, when we look, if we come all the way over here to Signy, see that we have a gross of 6, but only a net of 3. We can click and hold and see, like, our people who's working the land, they're bringing in 6, but we're losing 3 of it to corruption. It just vanishes. We know that this effect increases as we move farther out from our capital here. Another important reason to uh, build a palace in a more centralized city if for some reason your capital becomes nowhere near the center and is now on the fringes of your empire. But the Republic greatly reduces the effect of corruption as you move farther away from the capital. So that is just another way that the Republic boosts trade. So well, we've gone on long enough in this video. We should be able to wrap up the consequences of the Republic in the next video. You got the good news first about the Republic, and in part 2, we will go over the bad news.